Welcome back, guys. 2017 iCast Bass UTV Live. And I am sitting here with a Bassmaster Classic
2007 it was.
2007 Bassmaster Classic champ. You all know him. Great Boyd Duckett. Thanks for being with me today.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're here at iCast again, right?
Busy, man. iCast, it's a big deal for our industry. Everybody launches everything. It's what we get to see coming for 18, and it's exciting time, man. Busy for us.
Yeah, well, we're going to get talking about some of the products that you're launching here this week,
okay.
and we're going to talk a lot. There's a lot to talk about, right? You're knee deep in the elite season. How's things going this year?
It started really strong. I've hit a stumbling block the last couple of events. I've really not done well, but I'm going north.
You do well.
Man, I love to go. I just love fishing. I should be from Jersey, okay, or somewhere up there. I should be. I'm just a southern guy, but I love fishing up there.
Well, the fishing's amazing, and you go on to some great, right? You got Thousand Islands, Champlain.
Yep.
What is it, Mille Lacs?
We get to go to Mille Lacs again.
Oh my goodness.
And hammer the giant smallies. What a place.
Giant smallmouth and largemouth opportunities at Thousand Islands and Champlain. That's pretty exciting stuff. And Thousand Islands is 2 feet high, 2 or 3 feet high. It's gonna change the whole complexion of that tournament.
I'm telling you, that river. When we were there last time, it already has a ton of flow. A lot of smallmouth live in that river. You don't, it's not. You don't just go to the slack areas. A lot of them in the current, but with it that much higher and that much more current, I don't know how to fish it.
Right.
I struggled last time. Half ounce drop shot weight, and you're. But those big smallmouth get in there, so we got to catch them.
Yeah. Well, they're going to be somewhere, right? And somebody's going to figure out how to catch them. I know. You hear about tournaments being won up there from 1 foot deep down to 40 feet deep.
I know it.
And giant 26, 7, 8 pound bags of smallmouth. So we'll certainly be watching and wish you the best the rest of that season. But I'm real excited to check out what you brought here to show us because Duckett rods I guide and teach.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm fishing with guys from all over the country. Every week, all the time, and I see a lot of Duckett rods in my boat. A lot of guys love them. They like the different actions. They like the price point, and so they can get multiple rods, and they really like it. But it's been a great success for you, it seems, and boy, you got something brand new to show us here today.
Well, we did, Pete, and I appreciate you taking a quick minute. I won't waste a lot of your time on this, but this is something that I've wanted to do for a long time. We have worked hard to provide great products at a price point that most everyone can afford. That's what Duckett Fishing is known for. Obviously, we're pro-driven with our pro staff. We build this stuff for ourselves, and hope the public buys it. It's opposite of build something. But I wanted to build a high-end rod. This one is not for everybody. But this was something I wanted to do. I wanted to build the nicest bass tackle you could buy. And it's at a high price point.
Okay.
But I wanted to do that because the dream is, can I have the most sensitive rod, the nicest rod that I've ever bought that's out there available? That's what I'm after on this Black Ice series. Our White Ice 2 series. Our White Ice, that's our highest end rod now. And I don't know, one of the guys came up with Black Ice. I thought it was cool. I'm okay with the name. You got to do something. But this is an unbelievable fishing rod. It has material. It has the highest end materials. I'm not going to go into the details on all that stuff, but
it's super light.
Weight and balance. For guys that fish, the big deal is obviously balance.
Right.
Weight and balance. Overall weight is super light. What's even, balance is also terribly important when you're pulling a bait across the bottom to make your hands feel. And then, of course, sensitivity. Man, for deep water fish or any kind of fishing, we're always talking about sensitivity. Can I feel that bite? Can I feel the bait hit the bottom? The materials used in this rod will provide sensitivity that you haven't felt before. Okay, I promise you.
That's a bold statement.
It's a bold statement to make, but that's what this Black Ice series is about.
Okay.
And we're finalizing durability. Obviously, when you get this high quality graphite, your breakage is an issue for every high-end manufacturer. So I'm working through minimizing that breakage. I want to be able to offer this rod at an unconditional lifetime warranty. So I don't want to break the bank on my end either. So I got to get this stuff fixed. But when you invest in this rod, it's going to be one that if you ever have an issue, it's going to be an unconditional lifetime warranty. You'll buy this, you'll own it forever.
Excellent.
And it's going to be the greatest fishing rod you've ever held. I mean, that's the goal, man. I mean, you might as well call it what it is. I want this to be the greatest fishing rod you've ever held.
That is a lofty goal, and I'm handling this right now, and I mean to tell you, it feels like nothing. It's super light. It's super comfortable in your hand. Do you want to talk about the price point that you're coming out with this?
The price point is not settled, but my goal, because, at Duckett Fishing, one of the things we've always done is try to find a way to bring a high-quality rod, better than most, to a price point. This is going to be arguably the nicest bass rod that anyone's ever held, and I want to get it under $400.
Okay.
I want to get it something south of $400. And
that's all in. Rod and reel?
No. Rod.
Okay.
We haven't even talked about the reel. This is our new 400 reel.
Okay.
We're launching this at iCast as well, our new 400 series. One of the really cool things about this reel, what's the hardest thing about the bait casting business, or for all of us, pros and amateurs alike? Backlashes, man. I mean, how much time we spend doing this.
I heard people get those. I don't get any.
Well, I know you don't, but guys like me, we fight the backlash deal.
Sure.
But one of the things that really helps is internal centrifugal braking. Now, basically, so you're familiar with some of the other reels. Mine currently, we have an internal centrifugal braking system, which is a series of pins you'll see on some of the different ones.
Right.
What I've done, I've actually designed something you've never seen. This is not a magnetic brake. Okay? There's our camera. We need to get that looks like a magnetic brake.
Yeah.
What that does, that actually takes that disc, that cone, and it pushes it into this centrifugal braking. So what I have is a centrifugal brake that you control from the outside. You don't have to take the side cover off, fool with it, nothing.
That's convenient.
And the way I fish it, and most of the pro staff that's fishing these, we just completely back off. I just take this where it won't fall off.
Right.
That's a standard drum brake. That's on most reels.
Right.
And then I use the internal centrifugal braking only.
Okay.
And you got to stop the lure before it hits the water. Okay.
Right.
But other than that, you can't hardly backlash it.
Wow.
I mean, this and that's, I thought about it for the last 2 or 3 years. What does a person have to do to be a real game changer, like we did when we introduced micro guides to the industry? If you can make bait casting reels that don't backlash, that's a game changer. I mean, that's a game changer.
That's huge.
That's what this reel series is designed to do. So we're excited about the new 400. We have a 400, a 420, and a 460, all at different price points.
Wow.
But this centrifugal braking system is unlike anything anybody's ever seen, and it's hey man,
that's a game changer, man.
I'll let you hold it a little while longer.
One of the things that when I'm teaching guys is that you want to practice your casting such that your braking and your magnets are the minimum.
Yep.
Right? And you need to be free spool in order to get that bait under the dock.
Yep.
Under that tree or make the long cast.
Yeah.
You need to have it down to a minimum. But on most bait casting reels, it takes about 5,000 practice casts.
Oh yeah.
To be able to get to that level where you can do it, and to be able to have something that can take an angler right out of the gate and get him into that free spool situation. Well, that's the best asset there is for a reel.
And that's the goal, and that's something that as an industry in manufacturing reels, we haven't taken that as far as we can. And so, but this centrifugal braking is the answer here. When you get a backlash because when your reel spool is turning at that high RPM and it outruns itself.
Right.
Generally not at the very end of it's when it's at that peak turn, and if you overspin it, the line can't come out as quick as the spool is turning. Well, with centrifugal braking, when it hits that high RPM, like you overthrow it and you really make that spool turn too fast, that's when your centrifugal brakes are maxed. Then as the lure continues, then the braking backs off because it's spring loaded centrifugal braking. Then it's almost down to nothing towards the end of the cast, which lets that lure keep going.
Right.
And it's just a better technology than a straight drum brake or like what you and I do with all the years of experience. We've learned what we've learned how to do is take our thumb and do with that centrifugal. That's what we do.
Right.
Is we thumb, which takes 10,000 casts.
Right.
You're exactly right. And now we're trying to use technology to do that.
Wow, that's outstanding. I look forward to getting some line on this, and you'll be leaving this here, right?
I hear you. Yeah.
but you've got the rods. Now, like I said, I see a lot of guys coming to boat. You have rods with many actions, and to accomplish what we need to accomplish as anglers for all the different jobs. Are you coming out with a full line for this? How many models are you coming out with?
I'm going to start launching 10. We'll have 10 SKUs in the black ice initially. The solid 10 you need to have to tournament fish.
Right.
And then as time goes, we'll continue to launch some additional ones.
Okay. All right.
So.
Now, how do you accomplish those 10? I mean, you're pro-driven, right? Do your guys, do you use your pro staff to accomplish it?
And you know a lot of my guys, and the guys that we have on our pro staff are guys that like to get involved. They're tinkerers, they're the Terry Scroggins of the world, and guys that I love to work with, and Timmy and all the guys, KJ, and we're always messing with stuff. Those are those personalities, and those guys fit our company really well. So we build, basically, it's a trial and error pro staff, where I was talking to you before we got on the show about, the deception in rod building. Good as my engineers are, you can't sit down and design a fishing rod and create sensitivity. You have an idea. Obviously, you buy the best materials. You get your mandrels ground perfectly. But when you change, there's an infinite number of ways to wrap the pre-preg material over the mandrel, and the thickness of the flag that we cut before we wrap. And then when we run multi-wraps, there's just an infinite number of ways to wrap that material. And when you do, you'll create additional sensitivity, you'll kill sensitivity, and it's a trial and error process.
Wow.
I mean, I've not met anybody that says, hey, man, if you want your sensitivity to go to an 11, use Torre T1000 and it works. It isn't like that. And so that's where our company has an advantage with the pro staff, in that we can run all this trial and error process just like we do with our guide placement and other things. So, and it's the fun part too.
Yeah, that's what we like. And it's interesting. We see so many different guys. Come on, and at Bass University, we guys give seminars, and there's different for the same job. A lot of times, guys will be recommending different rods. And it's difficult sometimes, but I teach guys, like, everybody's different. You're tall, and you've got a long wingspan, and a certain combination for you, a certain technique might not work for a shorter guy. So you got to adjust your system sometimes.
Absolutely. In bass fishing, there are some basic techniques that fit everybody. There's some knowledge that should fit everybody, but just like a golf swing, bass fishing is very personal. And it's very individual. In order for you and I to get to the same goal, we may take two different roads.
Right.
And that's okay, because you have your way that you enjoy getting to it. And just like you say, with rods and reels, I try not to answer a question when somebody says, hey, man, what's the best cranking rod ever? Depends on what you're trying to accomplish with it. I can't really give you that answer. So we provide a series of rods. I don't call it a spinnerbait rod or a swim bait rod or a jig rod, because it changes so much. And just like you guys all teach in the university, what is a jig rod? Well, are you pitching a jig to cover, or now are you dragging it off of 8 or 10 foot? Now all of a sudden, is it a football head and 35? Those are all different combinations.
Right.
So there isn't the jig rod.
Right.
There's the process. And if you teach the process, you guys do a phenomenal job. I always hear great stuff about people that have attended the Bass University and the knowledge that's available.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, well, you guys have always done a bang-up job there, but that's the kind of stuff that an amateur is looking for. That quick answer, like we all are. I play golf, and I'm always at, hey man, what driver can I always hit in the fairway? That's the one I want to buy. Well, that doesn't exist. It's a process and practice.
Yeah, well, it's what you've done here with Duckett is amazing. What you've done with your fishing. You just have a knack for this stuff. I mean, you're like a business guru in the world of fishing, and everybody knows it that follows fishing. I'm a business guy, right? I've run the Bass University. I started this. I fished. I teach, and I'm pulling my hair out trying to keep all this stuff going. And it seems like you're doing 10 times the level of what I'm doing. How in the world are you pulling all this off?
Well, when it comes to working, which I've done my whole life, and I've enjoyed it, one of the things that's been easy for me to work my whole life is I always chased my dream, and I never did something I didn't like. And it doesn't mean go out and quit your job, folks, if you don't like it. But over time, you can find what you like at your workplace and excel at that. And if you don't like it, okay, you're not very good at it, and you're not good for your company either.
Right.
So. And if you have an entrepreneurial spirit and you like to start and create things, I don't have very many bad days. I work hard, but I don't have very many bad days. And I have a good time chasing all of it. And you're right, I got a bunch of stuff going on, but that's just what it takes to make me happy. And
it's impressive.
Yeah, and being able to do so much and have it be associated with the fishing industry, which I have a passion for.
Right.
I love tournament fishing, but beyond that, I love the industry. And I love people that fish, so I spend a lot of time and energy, like all the Major League Fishing time and investment that I've made. That's kind of a different deal. I'm not looking for a personal return. I'd like to, to bring the sport to more people. That was the whole idea behind the establishment of Major League Fishing. Take our sport to a different level. Give our anglers a platform at a higher television level. We're on network now, baby.
I saw.
We're operating a whole series on network. Yeah. I want to do more of that. I want the world to see our sport and know what we appreciate. So, but it's fun doing that stuff.
Yeah, and you've done something special there. I mean, MLF is again, like I said, I interact with a lot of people that are trying to learn this sport. So I get with people that are seeing things for the first time, and I can't tell you how passionate they are about MLF.
Yeah,
I mean, they're just cut up with it. Wives of fishermen, more wives and more partners are watching fishing than I've ever even heard of before.
Right.
Because of what you've done with MLF. That's an explosion.
It's awesome, and we really have a good time with that, and we're continuing to try to find new ways to change, not change the core of what we're doing, but to make it better, perfect it, and find a way to make people that don't fully understand what we do as bass competitors understand that, our talent level, our guys, we got the same freaks that every sport has. How does a guy, why does a guy grow up and want to drive a race car 200 miles an hour? He's done it since he was this big, and he, Tiger Woods in golf. How does a guy become that? He wastes, he gives up his childhood and his adolescence and his marriage, and he hits 5,000 golf balls a day. We have those same freaks in our sport that are at a different level than the world can imagine because they gave up, they made that personal sacrifice and poured the time into learning how to do this. I want the world to see that. It's not and you've been in this sport both from professional side as a tournament angler, and all of us, and you have watched that play out, and a lot of the world doesn't understand that. So that's one of the things I hope Major League Fishing can do is showcase the professionalism that's in the sport, the intensity, the competition, the difference in the guys.
Man, it's definitely doing that, and it's exciting to see something new like that, come about. But you brought up a point that I kind of want to step back to is you're right. These guys gave up everything. They sacrificed to get to the level, and somehow you're able to compete at the highest level and still not give up all this other stuff. How are you able to find the focus in fishing? Because it requires so much. Like you said, guys are giving up everything, to be at the best. How are you able to find that focus?
It's everybody has talents in different things. One of the things that's helped me, and one of the things that fishing has done to help me, it gives me a chance to turn the page. I'm real single-dimensional, which is unlike guys that have as much going on as I do from a business perspective. Most guys are multifunctional constantly. Mm-hmm. I'm very single-dimensional, and that works well for me because what I put my attention on, I can straighten that out quickly. But I have to be totally focused. Then I turn the page and I go to the next company or the next call or the next problem. And so fishing, when I step in my boat, unless I'm answering the phone, which I try not to, yeah. but when I turn the page, I'm able to completely get onto that, and I love it so much, and it's been healthy for me. It helps me accomplish the other things I do in life because I get that moment of freedom. Our competition level is phenomenal today in professional bass fishing, and it does deserve a lot of time and attention. Sometimes I shortcut it, don't give it the practice time I do because I'm too busy. And this group I fished against, they whip my tail over that. So and then it wakes me up, and I'm like, dude, you got to do the work. Yeah. You got to do the work to succeed at anything you do. Mm-hmm. And professional bass fishing's no different, man. You shortcut corners and you won't get it done.
You're right. Well, see, that's an important lesson for my wife. See, I have to limit the honeydew lists. I got to focus.
That's right.
I can't take care of that stuff all the time.
Pete needs more time on the water.
More time on the water.
It's my recommendation.
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'll make sure she gets a copy of this book.
Yeah.
But hey, there's a couple other things I wanted to talk to you about. Okay. Number one, you're from down on Guntersville, and just point of interest. I know a lot of guys are talking. Guntersville seems to be going through a little phase right now. Is it still going through it? What's happening down there?
Yeah, we had of course, Guntersville has been phenomenal for forever. But we had a really good 8 or 10 year run. Not this past winter, but the previous winter, we had a virus. We had an LMBV, which is just kind of a blanket for like a cold. There's a million strains. And we had a pretty substantial fish kill. Okay. And it's a natural cycle. It happens. It's happened in the Tennessee River. I've kept up with it. I moved to Tennessee in '81 and been fishing the Tennessee River, and everything cycles through it. And so we had that happen. But the lake is rebuilding nicely. All of our, last year what we had left for sick fish died, and our new fish are healthy. Fortunately, it wasn't one of those strains that kill all the big ones. So we still have a pretty fair number of big fish. We lost a lot of 3 to 5 pound fish, which it was famous for. But let me tell you, man, last year's spawn was phenomenal. This year's spawn's phenomenal. We got so many 1.5 to 1.75 pound fish. Another years from now, those will be 2.5s,
right?
Moving into 3s, and the lake's really rebuilding rapidly now. But you're right. We've had the last 2 years have been really tough on Guntersville. It's better now than it has been in 2 years.
Right. So
it's coming up, and we didn't lose our big fish, which was what I was most scared of. Still takes big weights.
Yeah, and to keep the gene pool around.
And keep the gene pool, exactly.
And I find, man, you see that over and over again with these bodies of water. Things are cyclical, and people start pushing the panic button a lot of times too early.
Yeah.
And I see it on even where I fish all the time is the Chesapeake.
Yeah.
Which we had about 8 to 10 years of amazing conditions.
Sure did.
And in recent times, it's still pretty good fishery, but it's not what it was 8 or 10 years ago.
Yep.
And then it'll catch up again. Yep. Because when you got bodies of water that have these tremendous nutrient loads coming in. I mean, they were good for a reason, and they'll be good again.
That's right.
What
I kind of look at it is it's like a field of soil, and you plant in it, and you may have a drought that year, but if you have a good field of soil, year after year, you can produce bumper crops. Now you'll have tornadoes that wipe out your crops. You'll have a drought season but it doesn't kill the base. Okay, versus go plant your crops in the desert, and you'll never have. Well, places like the Chesapeake, they were good for a reason. Their ecosystem is perfect. Guntersville is a fish factory. It's just accidentally, when they built the dam, the number of acres of that lake that's true habitat. It has grass. TVA's long since quit spraying, and so we have a great consistent population. It's the Tennessee River, which is high end in zooplankton, phytoplankton, and zooplankton. The shad and the bait fish have always been through the roof per acre compared to any place else. But it's just a fish factory.
Right.
It struggled with the virus. It'll come out on the other side because those kind of lakes do.
Right. I agree with you. And it's those natural resources, the conservation of natural resources, which are so key to bass fishermen.
Yep.
We're here in Conservation Alley.
Yep.
At iCast. I want to give a shout out to Keep America Fishing and the Pitch It campaign. I want to invite everybody to take that pledge to pitch it, meaning get those soft plastics in the trash, get them recycled, keep them out of our waterways. And that kind of steps me back to the MLF. You guys are cutting edge on that side of things. And, man, I got to take my hat off to what you guys are doing. Penalizing for fish hitting the carpet, releasing fish care. Fish care isn't even an issue. You've taken it out of the equation. Kudos for that. It's amazing work.
Thank you, and that's obviously not by accident. One of the things that's there's two things that have always, I started traveling and tournament fishing when I was 17, and some of the things that I've seen and witnessed that concerned me were environmental issues caused by industry. I'm a business guy, and I'm a big proponent of industry doing well in America. So,
right.
But at the same time, there's a blend and a balance. And one of the issues that has always concerned me was with we're basically urban governed. I'm not going to get way off on a political conversation on you here. So, we are because of the constituency and the interest and people that run.
Population.
You got it. Population centers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not that those that try to represent us don't want to. It's that they don't understand. They can't relate directly to what you and I do. So it's always important to have a voice. Well, one of the things that I've seen in bass fishing was a separation from a state and regulatory perspective, where we kept getting farther away from those that governed us being able to relate to what's important to us, which feeds into money available to restore the lakes, environmental control when needed to keep from damaging the water reservoirs. And I watched in we weren't the squeaky wheel, okay, right. To make it quite simple. Mm-hmm. The college program coming into place, which spawned the high school programs, those of us within the industry that started to learn to teach the word. Bass started that early on. They deserve a ton of credit, the BASS company, and then guys like what you're doing at Bass University and everyone that's doing their part to try to share that information has created a new constituency, okay? Mm-hmm. And because we need a new voice to come in, even if you fish occasionally, if you'll just understand, because all of our kids, these high school kids that might have been in a fishing program, one day they may become a state legislator or in your county or in a position, and they need that voice needs to carry forward to protect what you and I have been. They're basically the stewards of our sport that means so much to us, mm-hmm. and that can't go unseen. So that's always been a big issue for me, is how do we continue to make the world aware of our sport so that we at least have a voice to protect what you and I, what's so dear to our heart.
Right. And that's great. And MLF, I can't imagine there's anybody that's watching this that doesn't watch MLF, but there might be. It's amazing. Like we deal in tournaments where we keep our fishing alive. Well, MLF doesn't. You catch, assess, and release.
That's it. It makes the show exciting, but more importantly, we want to offer something else other than the standard tournament weigh-in. You do fight some mortality from that perspective. You certainly do at lower levels where they don't have the equipment and the assets necessary. So you end up killing a lot of the fish from the fishery. As our sport grows, with more and more people going to weigh-ins, we have more and more mortality. Well, now Major League Fishing, and our Score Tracker Live is available. You can lease that. You can have a Major League Fishing style event. You can go to majorleaguefishing.com. It's $1.99 for your cell phone for the day. Your whole team, your bass club, your local tournament, y'all can run a Major League Fishing style event.
I know a lot of clubs that are doing that.
Right off of our deal. You catch them, you weigh them, you release them. There's no damage to the fish, no damage to the fishery, and as it's turned out, it's a more exciting way to fish to me as well.
Right.
So that's worked out well. I'm very proud of that.
Well, that's great, and I love to see that, and we love to have all the MLF guys and at Bass University, which we will keep inviting you to come to Bass University to be one of our instructors. We want to.
I hear you.
We won't put you on the spot. Maybe just a little bit here on.
I hear you. And I about 2 years ago or maybe 3 years ago, I tried so hard. I looked at the dates you sent me because I love your program and what you do, and I love to talk about that stuff. But as you very well know, with all of the off-the-water stuff that I do, time is what I don't have. So,
oh my goodness, the real estate developer, are your boat dealer?
Yeah.
Boat dealership now?
Yep, got we sell a lot of all of the White River Marine Group, the Johnny Morris brands, which is the whole world now, I guess, Yep. But yeah, Triton, Nitro, all the trackers, all the other products.
What's next? President Duckett? What's next?
I'm gonna see. Trump's way out there, a non-political guy. I'm gonna see how well he does first, and if they can accept a guy like that, I got a chance. Okay, then I got a chance.
Well, you've been super successful, and I appreciate you taking time here at iCast. I know it's a busy show for you.
Yep.
But it's a lot of fun. It's always a lot of fun talking to you, and wish you the best of luck the rest of the season.
Awesome.
Appreciate it,
man.
Yes,
sir. Thanks, Pete.
Great Boyd Duckett. We're going to take a little break.
Very short break.
And we have Bradley Deutsch. Deutsch. Sorry, Bradley. We're going to have having him coming up next. We're going to be talking about the iCast Cup.
Yes.
The Rookie of the Year for the FLW, and a lot of other great stuff coming.
And you're taking a break.
And I'm taking a break.
Mike Iaconelli's stepping in your place. Pete.
Oh, I'm going to go home and take a little bit of a break. All
right. There you go.
That's nice. Hey, thanks so much, Boyd. We'll be right back with more Bass UTV Live.